What is going on, guys? We're back in the shop and we're going over some V12 stuff today. It's going to be specifically about the 1GZ and more specifically about putting a CD009 onto a 1GZFE. And so there's many different ways to do it, and we're going to dive right into that. Here is one of our 1GZs from a 97 Toyota Century. This is the first year with the V12. And it looks a little dirty, but something to note, the era of 1GZs comes with the C type bell housing, and so this correlates with the A340 or A340E transmission, which is a different automatic transmission. It's either a 4 or 5 speed transmission, and the later model, this goes from 1997 to 2003, and so from 2004 through 2017, it's going to switch over to the BK automatic bell housing. And what is very important is these are different heights. And there's a misconception on the internet that the 1GZFE bell housing, which is a U1 A340 or A340E bell housing, will fit onto this system, or an adapter for a 1GZFE automatic bell housing will work with the 1GZ, and that is not correct because of this one simple thing. The height is subtly different. This is going to throw off the depth of the input shaft, how the release bearing applies pressure onto the diaphragm to kind of release the clutch. There's many different reasons, and all three of these are different heights. None of them share the same height. So let's go over that. This is a U1 bell housing from a 1GZFE. This one's from a 95 engine, and this carries through all the way through 2000, even with the A650E. Which is the different automatic transmission, like the 5-speed automatic out of a VVTi model or Kuki model. This A650 bell housing is still the same as the A340s, which means it houses the same torque converter. And so the reason they have these bell housings as different sizes is to have a different stall speed or a different sized converter to do different things. This engine, a lot more torquey than a V8. And so it's going to have a different torque converter specifically to handle the amount of torque and when that torque comes on. And so if we look at the size and shape of these bell housings, you can clearly see that these have a little bit different geometry than this. So this is the V8, both of these are the V12s. And so the BK, the latest iteration, it has a slightly smaller torque converter, and everything is kind of cost down a little bit. They still run these really weird recesses right here. I'm not sure what that is. It's in both versions of the pre 2004 and the post 2004. I'm not sure why those are there. So we can go over to the USDM passenger side and see if there's a reason why those are there. And it doesn't look like there's any benefit to have those there, so I'm not really sure what that is, what that's for, but it exists in both systems, and it doesn't exist in the 1GZ or any of the JZ stuff. So again, subtle differences between all of these. I know that the BK plate is, I think, 2.5 millimeters. Let's see if we can let me get this set up correctly. Before we start, I'm going to go ahead and pull the dowel pin out. We have a dowel pin puller right here. My old snap-on dowel pin puller. This is a 10 millimeter dowel pin. Toyota runs all 10 millimeter dowel pins in the 90s through early 2000 JZ, and any FE engine has 10 millimeter dowel pins. Just a FYI, a little small tidbit for you guys. I'm going to pull this out real quick. This is the best way to remove a dowel pin. Use a proper dowel pin puller. Grab onto the outer side. Okay, so we got this tightened down on here. Not too tight. Came right out. Didn't even have to pull it. But we're going to go ahead and put this back in the engine where it belongs, so that when we go to install the 6-speed transmission, it will align perfectly on the block. Minimum of 2 dowel pins in any type of casing or bell housing or transmission housing. Minimum of 2, 3 is preferred, or a concentric ring or some sort of way to properly center the engine or shaft or whatever it is to the other mating assembly or part. Okay, so when putting a dowel pin, you always want to use something soft, not soft, but something not as hard as the pin itself. You don't want to use like a hardcore metal hammer. That way you can deform the dowel pin, because the precision of the alignment or the concentricity of how the input shaft goes into where it needs to go relates to how well these are placed into the feature on the block. And so if these are distorted or bent or not put in correctly or normal to the block, it won't go in right. So that went in suspiciously easy. So just double check that one. And that's it. It's installed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check the offset height between these two 1GZFE bell housings. This one is the later model BK. This is 2004 to 2017. This is the C, like C as in Charlie bell housing. This is from 97 to 2003, I believe. There's almost no information on the internet, which is why we're doing this video. And this is going to help you select the proper adapter plate from us to get your V12 into whatever swap you're going for using a CD009 or a 350Z transmission 6-speed. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and zero out our little piece of stock right here. This is an off-the-cuff measurement just to see how far off it is. We always 3D scan all of these, which is what all these dots are for, and then we probe everything on our Renishaw probe. So just a real quick off-the-cuff. You always want to measure the thickness, zero it out, and then you want to use the flat side of your caliper, make sure it's nice and clean, and measure right here. So this one's quite significantly different. It's about 13.8 millimeters different. 13.75, so plus or minus 5.05 millimeters. So it's a significant difference between the early model and the later model bell housing. This is going to change the depth of the adapter plate, and we have many different adapter plates to accommodate different solutions. Okay, so here's an example of the different heights of our adapter plates. This is an A340 U1 adapter, and this is different from the JZ A340 J3 bell housing. Those two bell housings are significantly different. The J3 bell housing is a lot taller, and the U1 bell housing is slightly shorter. And we're going to compare that with the 1GZFE bell housings that we have over there. But if you can see from a profile view, the mating surface of the bell housing is significantly different. And so this happens with almost all of the bell housings from Toyota. They're going to have a slight difference in height, and that's going to affect how the release bearing mounts and how the release bearing functions with the pressure plate diaphragm of the clutch system. We got these BK plates coming off the machine right now for the V12, the 1GZ V12 stuff, and these things are absolutely beautiful. Just the finish coming off of these is just wild. So this is specifically for the BK. Fitment is really tight. Let me show you guys. BK bell housing for the 1GZ. Look at that. Not even a wiggle. That is amazing. Really excited. You can see the V12 engraving underneath. The bell housing correlates with the bell housing number. just so you can double check everything. You got all your bases covered right here. So we have the center is configured for T56 slave cylinder and the Tilton Saab style slave cylinder that all fits in there really nice, and that pairs well with our single disc and our twin disc systems, our offerings for this. So really excited, guys. Cannot wait to get these in your hands. So that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for liking and subscribing to our channel, and if you do want to see more of this V12 comment below. We want to hear your thoughts on swapping in V12s and the methodology to what you're going to do. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget, like I said, to subscribe to get more notifications, and if you did like the information on this video, go ahead and check the like button. Thank you.